Harcourt. My name is Favour. I'm so excited. I just arrived in camp right now and oh my god, I'm super excited. I met all my friends and we're so happy to be here. Thank you, Miss Harcourt City, for supporting me.
For Miss PH City Tourism 2022, a round of applause for Lady Iwofe.
My name na Favour Rufus. I be 21 years old and na me be the current Miss Harcourt City Humanity 2022.
In the history of Nigeria, there has never been a blind person who won beauty pageant competition. Some persons were born blind, but they never feel discouraged about it, while others were born blind and they blame their parents for their present condition, saying that their parents' hands are dirty, while some wish that they should have just died when they were little instead of spending the rest of their life with such conditions. Hello and welcome to my channel. It's your boy Chichi and welcome to Chichi Blog. If today is your first time coming across my channel, go ahead and hit the red button, support your boy, we rise by lifting others. So guys, I want you guys to meet this 21-year-old blind lady, Favour Rufus, the current Miss Harcourt City Humanity, the only blind lady who contested against other 18 girls. Of course, what do you guys expect from her friends and families? Some mocked her, not like a jest, but in a way to let her know that she can never emerge as a winner. But just as Eleanor Roosevelt said, the future belongs to those who truly believe in the beauty of their dreams. Let's take a break, a throwback when she was begging her fans and the concerned people to vote for her.
Thanks to all my fans, my friends, and family. Thank you so much. So please guys, don't forget to be there on the grand finale, 3rd July at Aztec Stadium, Stadium Road. Remember, 4 p.m. And please come support your girl.
So guys, and that was Favour when she was begging her friends and families, well-wishers, her fans to vote for her. And I think people had pity on her and they made sure that yes, this girl, you need to win this thing, and then they voted for her. Guys, aside from Favour Rufus, we also have someone who is also blind, Faith Ihedua, although we don't know her current state, although she contested in Miss Blind Nigeria competition, and that made her different from Favour Rufus. Faith was a final year student at the time she contested, and she was studying English in the University of Lagos. After being able to beat all the visually impaired ladies who represented their states, she was then confirmed and crowned Miss Blind Nigeria in 2019. She lost her sight at the age of 15. Immediately she finished her senior school certificate examination in K2 Lagos State. Now, talking about Favour Rufus, she also lost her sight, let's not forget, when she was around 7 to 8 years old. Then the doctor told her, because she was having severe pain, at her left eye, and then the doctor told her that, see, you already lost your left eye. So, yeah, well, very painful anyway. And she was also complaining of her right eye, but Favour is currently managing her right eye, and she nurtures it with the use of eye drops. If eventually she stops using that eye drop, she may also lose her eye and just go totally blind. Everyone is blind, guys, in one way or the other. You may be blind spiritually, you may be blind emotionally, you may be blind physically, financially, mention it. But it depends on how you react to it. You just have to motivate yourself. You just have to motivate yourself anyhow way you want to. Guys, the story of Favour Rufus and Faith Ihedua should not only motivate you guys, but make you believe in yourself. This is where I will end this gist, guys. As I leave you to watch Favour Rufus speaks, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. On today's video, peace out.
From a wonderful family, I'll put it that way. Raised by a beautiful, strong, super single mother. Yeah. Though visually impaired, but I have big dreams.
Wow, visually impaired. Can you put it down in lay language, as lay as possible?
Okay, so the word visually impaired simply means a person who has sight impairment, but maybe you could still sense some image or lights, pressure on their eyesight, something like that. Some could be very blurry, some could be a bit clear, but as for mine, it's extremely blurred, so I can barely see things clearly. Yeah.
Wow. So, you are 20 years old.
Yes.
And how long have you been in this condition?
Oh wow, I think I'll make a joke out of this. I am a degree holder in this aspect. It's been over 17 to 18 years now since I've been visually impaired. Yeah.
Okay. How has the journey been?
I'm not gonna lie, it's been very hectic. The journey has never been easy, but in all, I thank God for where I am and where I know He's taking me to. Yeah.
So, you are so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
And then, so it's a challenge for me, and I know it will be quite a challenge. It will be a challenge for a great number of people, a good number of people, to think that looking at you, you are actually visually impaired. You have a very pleasant personality. You are smiling a lot. You have happy vibes, you know, all around you, or you seem to have happy vibes in you and around you. How are you sustaining this?
Well, it all started when I was a kid. I've always had this happy personality. In fact, my mom would always say, "You are just too excited over everything." You know, it's been something that I've been grooming from childhood. And when I discovered I was visually impaired, my mom, as a mother, seeing her only child, because apparently I am the only child of my parents, she was so depressed over the fact that her child, who she loved so much, was, you know, in such, I don't know how to put it, such terrible situation. It was a dilemma. But I ended up telling her that no matter what the situation is, we must have hope. Yeah, because life is short. You know, growing up, I discovered the people you see today, you might be surprised, you might not just see them the next day. So every opportunity we have, we should smile often, try to make ourselves happy. It may not be easy, trust me, it is never easy, but we should just try, you know. So I helped my mother build that faith. At first it was difficult for she to accept this, you know, seeing other kids being able to do things that her daughter should be able to do. But in time, she saw me smiling and laughing like there's no problem, you know. So she was like, if my daughter in this situation can be happy, then I too can be grateful and happy. Yeah.
As a mother, this is deep, yeah. It's strong because, I mean, nobody wants the extra burden.
At all.
Nobody wants the extra pain.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine, as a young girl, perhaps about 6 or 7, myself, I almost lost my sight, you know, and till today it's something it's a challenge I have. So I can just feel your mother's, and then as a mother, I can feel your mother's beats. I understand your journey to an extent. And because I can't say I understand it all. I've not gone as far as you have gone, you know. So, how did you do for school? For schooling?
Well, at age 6, because we didn't even know I had this impairment or any challenge on my sight, because my parents were no longer together. It was just my mom. So I think age 7 to 8, I was about clocking 8 years when my teachers would complain oftenly that I'm not doing well educationally. It's either I'm not seeing the board, I'm not able to write well, something like that. And my mother would wonder, how is this possible? But you can watch Barbie, you know, because I was a big fan of Barbie and still am. And, you know, it was terrible. I too did not understand because as a kid, I know I could do things like watch cartoon, jump up and down. But then I think it got so bad to the point where I wasn't just doing well at all. They would give me a question sheet and they'd be like, okay, so do your exams. I will write the correct answers in a rough sheet. But then when it's time for me to put it back, like, you know, write it down in the answer sheets, I would do different things together. Like I would write the opposite of what I wrote there. My teacher would be like, what is going on? In this sheet here, you have the right answers. In this other one, you have another answer. Is it that you're being funny or you don't know what you're doing? So she called me aside after the exam and she was like, asking me the questions bit by bit, and I would answer her correctly, and she was like, that means it's the sides.
Why can't you write it?
Yeah. So she was like, okay, now you write it down. And when I wrote it down, she noticed it's the sides. I still couldn't see what I was writing from the other sheet on that paper, so she was like, no, we have to tell your mother. I got back home, she explained to my mother. When I got to the hospital, it was already too late. The doctor said I was diagnosed with glaucoma. I had already lost my left eye and I was left with just the right. Since then, it's been terrible. I dropped out of school. When I finished my primary school, I couldn't continue. I stayed at home for like 6 years. When I finally went back to school, it was at what they call a special school for the blind in Abia State. So when I got there, it was funny. Being in the midst of people you don't know, you've never seen all your life. I'm like, what am I doing here? I don't belong with this kind of people. They can't see anything. How do I cope? And then I had to learn how to read and write in Braille, which is a format that blind people use to read and write. It's in dotted forms with codes that we used to read and write. I learned how to operate typewriters, computers, made beaded bags, key holders, flower verses, and things were not shaped well because they were not taking care of us there. So I left there, came over to Port Harcourt, where I enrolled in another rehab. It didn't feel like I was in a rehab. It was more like family, you know, because they don't just teach you. They show you love. They inspire you. They feel your pain, motivate you, and you feel like I'm on top of the wall. You know, in that rehab, I discovered the real me. I wanted to be a lawyer at first because I love humans. You know, I feel the pain of people because I've gone through a lot in my life. So I always wanted to be a human rights lawyer. But when I went there, I discovered, no, this is not my field. I love journalism. And I was like, I'm going to be a journalist. So I graduated with honors and I came out as the best student for that year. That was 2017. And then I went over to a secondary school for, you know, normal people. Yeah, Goldman International Secondary School. And I stayed there. I did well from my first year to I had to start from scratch because, you know, leaving school for so long. Yeah, so I was like the oldest in the entire school from junior to senior. It felt like I was a mother. Sometimes they would tease me. I would get taunts from students, you know. I made use of my recorder to record what the teachers would teach during class when they're explaining. And then I'd go to my hostel and listen to it because I was a boarder. I couldn't go from house to school. It was very far. And life wasn't easy, but I showed all of them. Every time, you know, we had exams, I would come out the best in my class. You know,